What about you?
I am happily single. I've been single for exactly 20 days now.
Oh, wow.
And I believe my longest relationship was about 3 years. I've had a couple of those.
How long was the one that ended 20 days ago?
It was 2 months, but we were best friends for 2 years. So things moved really quickly.
For that 2-year period that you were friends, was there any sexual involvement or strictly platonic?
We met in an orgy. But we didn't have sex. We interacted. We didn't swap fully. And then we just were platonic friends.
So when you say orgy, are you like, do you consider yourself a swinger?
I think at that time there was a little bit of that, but it was just with my partner, and then it was like the other couple, which...
So you would go to orgies with your boyfriend at the time?
Yes.
So to be clear,
he wasn't my boyfriend, but he was my
Oh.
long-term friends with benefits situation guy.
How long were you in that? 3 years?
Like 2 years.
You were in an open situationship for 2 years?
Yeah.
Basically?
Yeah, like on and off.
Okay. And you met your most recent guy who you dated for a couple months at an orgy while you were at said orgy with your 2-year situationship.
They were roommates, yes.
Hold on, just to be clear. So the guy to be clear, the guy that you broke up with, or that you guys broke up 20 days ago, who you were dating for two months, was
Yes.
it? 2 or 3 months? He was roommates with your 2-year situationship.
Yeah, they weren't roommates anymore, but that's when I met him. At the time they were.
At the time when you met him,
In the orgy, they were
In the
roommates.
orgy.
It was at their house, yes.
okay, trying to keep track.
I
of
guess
all
it
the-
was, to be technical, a foursome that we did not swap in. And so he was the other person, like
Wait.
the other guy.
Okay. So wait, you met him during an orgy.
Yes. Well,
Was
I
it
met
a
him.
foursome or an orgy?
It was a foursome. Is that
Okay.
an orgy? I'm not really sure.
I don't know.
There was 4 people. No one swapped fully.
I don't know if
But
that's
we
a
were
Do we
interacting.
need to get the requirement down for how many people it takes for it to be an orgy?
It was more than 3. I consider that an orgy, but maybe it's
Yeah, I
not.
More than
consider maybe
3?
5.
Okay.
I'm 27.
Okay.
So I was 25 at the time.
So you were in an orgy, and then you met this guy?
Well, I guess I knew him prior to that, but just like that's when we really got close and I got to know him.
Were they like high-fiving over your head, or?
Something like that.
So okay, you broke up 20 days ago. Who broke up with who?
I broke up with him.
Why?
There's a few reasons. It was a little similar to what she was talking about. I do OnlyFans, and he was really comfortable just like kind of living at my place, using my car. And we were at Coachella, and some things had happened there, and he was like with another girl. He told her we were in an open relationship, which we weren't. We were completely monogamous when we got together. And then when I broke up with him, he vandalized my car.
Ooh.
Good times.
Mm-hmm.
Good times.
I sure know how to pick him.
So he had nothing going for him. He was living at your place.
I'm not gonna say he had nothing going for him, but I am not shallow. I wasn't gonna break up with him from like just lack of ambition alone. So it really took him kind of like being sneaky, weird, like, because I always thought he was so loyal, and that's why I was with him. I was like, oh, he treats me so good, he's so sweet. And then when I started to realize that he was maybe not doing that, I was like, I'm out.
But you met him at a foursome.
Right, you met him.
Yeah, but that was 2 years ago. We weren't together then.
Okay.
But somebody
Yeah,
somebody who has an inclination towards that kind of sexual conduct is probably not the best bet for like, well, down the road, I'm gonna have a monogamous relationship with this person.
Well, I think that like with certain people, you could like choose to be poly, and then other people you choose to be in a committed relationship. So I disagree with that.
Well, hang on. So if you don't mind if I ask
Yeah.
a few questions here.
Sure.
Can I give you a scenario?
Sure.
Let us imagine for a moment that this relationship that you had with this gentleman worked out, and you're 35 years old, and you're sitting around with little Stephanie, your daughter, and she says, "Mommy, how'd you meet Daddy?" And you're like, "Well, we were at a fucking gangbang, and you know there was body fluids going all over the place.
Yeah.
And they high-fived over my head, and I knew then your dad
That
was the
never
one for
happened.
me." Like, does that sound like maybe if you think about that in the future,
Romantic.
that future conversation, does
I
that
kinda thought it
maybe
was
produce
cute.
red flags in your head?
I thought it was cute, like a love story, you know. I mean, we didn't have to tell our kid that per se. We could just say we met like from mutual friends.
That's
About
not
the
a
next
lie.
Nicholas Spark movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't blow me up.
Like, it's not like I was the first time meeting him, but like I had met him pretty recent before that. So, yeah, good times.
Well, I mean, but you would have to then lie to your kids, right?
I would be honest then. I don't really have a problem if
Yeah,
they're
you'd
old
be
enough.
honest, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to be honest about me doing OnlyFans, like all sorts of things. So
Yeah.
I'm not a liar. I'm not opposed
But I
to
mean,
telling them.
would it make you uncomfortable to have that conversation at 35 with little Stephanie, with the origin story of how I met your father was at a gangbang?
I
like
mean, I
that?
think like, you know, when people become a certain age, you're gonna have the conversation about the birds and the bees and stuff like that anyways. I don't think when they, you know, are like a newborn baby or like a toddler, I need to like necessarily be sharing those details.
No, but I mean, even 12, 13, right? Something in there when kids are starting to go through puberty and they become curious about that type of thing. You know what I mean? And they're asking about it. Would you feel any shame at all telling that story to little Stephanie?
I think that they could learn from my experiences, both negative and positive, and I could teach them about safe sex and, you know, times where maybe like I wasn't being that safe. And
What
So
if-
say
what
a
if
safe way to
somebody
do an
else
orgy?
told
That's what you want to teach little
that
Stephanie?
story?
wait, sorry, two people are talking.
I
What'd you
was
say?
asking, what if somebody else told Stephanie that story? How would you feel about how you met him?
I'm not really ashamed of it, honestly. It is what it is. Also like there were boundaries, and like we became very, very close friends before we ever got together. And at the time I was just with that partner who I was like experimenting and doing those things with.
Is he still friends with the guy? Like the
They
two
already
guys?
weren't friends before that happened.
Oh, they were just roommates. Okay.
Well, they were friends at the time, but they fell out like long before we got together.
Okay. So you ended it 20 days ago. Has there been a rebound?
No, I've been completely celibate, single.
Okay.
Just
You
doing
had a
me.
question for?
No, sorry, I asked.
Oh,
I
she
asked
already
the
answered? Okay.
question, She answered it.
All right. And, okay, no rebound, no guys in the picture?
No.
Nothing?
I don't have the
Zilch?
tolerance right now.
No tolerance? You're sick? Are you sick of men?
I'm sick and
You need a
tired.
break.
Sick and tired.
I'm going to therapy. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You said that you,
Well, but you might be only an orgy away from Mr. Right.
No, I actually like was very keen on no longer participating in that stuff, which this boyfriend knew, which is why when he told the girl at Coachella we were open, I was like, I'm out. You know that's not true. So those days are over. I'm no longer fun anymore.
during those days,
I don't
during,
think that's true.
Yeah. Thank you. That's what he said. 'cause I
okay,
wouldn't
so
do
during
it.
those days, how many, like orgies were you participating in? Have
Well,
you?
again, define orgy because I guess 4 doesn't count as one. I
Let's
guess
just
I've never
count it.
had one.
Let's just count it.
Kind of community?
Yeah, with him.
Okay.
Only with him.
Well, would you
Let's
go
say-
to like
let's say
sex
4 or
parties?
more.
Would you go to sex parties?
Yeah,
How
but
many
not
s-
many.
How many did you go to?
Oh, actually, that's a lie. I've been to a few actually.
More than 10?
What's that?
More than 10?
Oh no,
5 to 10?
5.
Sex parties?
Let's say 5.
Okay.
And you would
then-
have sex with your partner, or you would like swap?
I was only with him,
Okay.
and there were times where I've been to parties like that, and I'm just watching or like interacting, but like not having intercourse. So
Was
We're-
your partner with other people?
we would have threesomes a lot.
What's that like to just watch? Just sit there and watch while people do that?
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
It's interesting. It can be really overwhelming, and I would get turned on by watching him with other people. But then, you know, you experience things like jealousy, which is natural. But usually, I would experience that more like if it was like after the fact. Like if it was just like in the moment, like I actually really liked it.
Sure.